So, imagine living in a desert where extreme heat, severe wind, and like the constant threat of wildfire are quite literally beating against your front door.
I mean, that sounds incredibly stressful.
Right. But now imagine feeling more at peace there than anywhere else in the world. That is exactly the scenario we are unpacking today in our deep dive into the Hillview Cove architecture study.
Yeah, we are exploring how a custom, $5 to $10 million Palm Springs home manages to elevate architecture from just mere aesthetics into, like, a customized mental health therapy.
Exactly. Think of this house as a giant architectural pair of noise-canceling headphones for the brain.
I love that analogy because usually residential architecture at this price point is judged purely on how it looks.
Oh, totally. It's all about the curb appeal.
Exactly. But the design team here approached this 7,200 square foot project by asking how the home literally feels to the nervous system, specifically to support one of the owner's mental health challenges.
And to pull off that level of calm, the house physically has to fight off that harsh desert environment?
Oh, absolutely. It's a fortress.
Right, because looking down the street at Hillview Cove, you typically see, classic mid-century modernism from the 50s and 60s, or those massive 1980s Mediterranean estates with ornate columns.
Yeah, all that fragile glass and stucco.
But this 2020 home completely ignores those precedents. Instead, it relies heavily on board-formed recycled concrete. And I have to stop you there, though.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Well, when I saw recycled concrete in the specs, my immediate thought was, like, a grim, cold doomsday bunker. How did they avoid that?
The client actually had that exact same fear. The solution really comes down to texture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the concrete wasn't poured into flat molds. The builders used rough, varied wood slabs for the formwork. So as the concrete cured, it actually absorbed those natural grain patterns.
Oh, wow. So depending on how the desert light hits it, you get this rich tactile surface.
Exactly. It feels grounded, not industrial.
It's basically self-finishing.
Right. And they paired those heavy walls with a ceiling made of Douglas fir treated with Shou Sugi Ban.
That's the traditional Japanese charring technique, right?
Yes, exactly. It naturally makes the wood fire and rot resistant, which is obviously crucial in the desert.
Definitely.
But more importantly for the nervous system, that carbonized, deeply textured dark surface actually breaks up sound waves and absorbs excess light.
Oh, so it stops that harsh glare and acoustic echo you usually get in large modern homes.
Exactly. It creates this heavy, dark shell that does such a good job of keeping the hostile desert out.
Which means the interior layout can focus entirely on psychological predictability.
Right. The functional layout is surprisingly simple. You have a dual-wing floor plan
that physically separates the primary suite from the guest quarters, right?
Yeah.
With that communal great room in the center.
You got it. By creating distinct zones for social interaction versus pure isolation, the owner always knows exactly what energy to expect in each part of the house.
That makes so much sense.
And the site constraints actually amplified that feeling of safety. The architect originally had to sink the home's floor plate deep into the sloping hillside just to protect a neighbor's mountain view.
Wait, really? That sounds like a major compromise for a luxury build.
It definitely forced their hand, but it yielded a brilliant psychological effect.
How so?
While lowering the house allowed for a low, continuous, horizontal roofline that intimately compresses the interior volume. It prevents the massive footprint from feeling cavernous or overwhelming.
Oh, that is smart.
Yeah, and to maintain that visual purity, they completely hid all the technical systems. Like instead of loud, ugly AC units, they used high-end Titus linear diffusers.
What are those exactly?
They are specialized vents designed to push massive amounts of air with near-zero acoustic noise, and they recess them silently right into the joints of that charred wood ceiling.
So the whole house basically operates like a swan, perfectly serene on the surface, while all this high-tech machinery paddles invisibly underneath.
That is exactly it. And that internal serenity purposefully spills outward, neutralizing the boundary between the sheltered living space and the rugged landscape.
Right, because they poured those dark gray terrazzo floors that run continuously from the living room straight out onto the patio.
Yes.
And that dark stone leads right to the backyard zero-edge pool. But, in the specs, it mentions the pool is elevated exactly 1.25 inches and lined entirely in black granite.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Why that hyper-specific height? And honestly, why avoid the classic inviting blue pool plaster you see in every other desert home?
Well, the 1.25-inch elevation is incredibly deliberate. It raises the water just enough to break the ambient desert ground wind.
Oh, wow, just to stop the wind ripples.
Exactly. It creates a perfectly still surface tension, and the black granite completely transforms the water's psychological impact.
Because blue usually means, like, playfulness, right?
Right. A bright blue pool biologically signals activity. It draws the eye and creates visual noise. The dark granite turns the pool into this quiet, sculptural grounding element.
Almost like a mirror.
Precisely. It acts as a flawless, dark mirror for the San Jacinto Mountains and the sky, blending the architecture right into the therapeutic mission.
So what does this all mean? For you listening, it is really worth taking a moment to look around your own space.
Absolutely. Evaluate how the textures, the acoustics, and the layout of your home are impacting your daily emotional baseline.
Because if a private home can be explicitly engineered as a neural-aesthetic sanctuary, it raises a pretty profound question.
It really does. How could we apply these exact acoustic and tactile principles to the stressful public spaces where we spend our most anxious hours? Think about, corporate offices or even hospitals.
Wow. Imagine stepping into a bustling hospital waiting room. But instead of harsh fluorescent lights and echoing linoleum, the room just slips over your senses like a giant architectural pair of noise-canceling headphones.
Now that would be a design revolution. Which is, it's just a fascinating pivot, really, because, normally you picture Palm Springs mansions as these loud, flashy glass boxes that are just screaming, like, look at me!
Right, exactly. Blindingly bright blue pools, massive parties, just an architecture of pure, conspicuous consumption.
Oh, absolutely. But this place, it completely flips that script. It's all about quiet resilience.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because if those typical flashy mansions are, like a sugary energy drink, you can think of Hillview Cove as an architectural weighted blanket for your nervous system.
Oh, I love that. That is a phenomenal analogy. And, to build that weighted blanket in the Andreas Hills neighborhood, the design team had to battle some really extreme environmental conditions.
Like the heat, right?
Yeah, harsh desert heat, but also severe fire exposure and these crazy seasonal high winds.
Which perfectly explains why it looks so incredibly different from the surrounding houses. You walk down that street and see these late 1980s Mediterranean styles properties like Villa Rosa, I think.
Yeah, Villa Rosa.
Right, the ones covered in ornamental ironwork and all those decorative stone columns.
Exactly. And the architects here completely abandoned that ornamental playbook. What's fascinating here is their structural reliance on heavy recycled concrete and Shou Sugi Ban ceilings.
Wait, Shou Sugi Ban, that's the charred wood, right?
Yes. It's charred Douglas fir. Those materials absorb light and sound beautifully, and they give you incredible thermal mass and fire resistance.
Now, hold on a second. I get the charred wood. But concrete, when you say an interior made of heavy concrete, I don't exactly picture a warm therapeutic sanctuary.
You picture a parking garage.
Literally. Doesn't that feel just like way too cold and institutional?
Well, the client actually had that exact same fear. It's a completely valid concern. But the magic here is in how they actually poured the concrete.
Oh.
Yeah, they used formwork made of variable width wood slabs. So when the concrete cures, it leaves behind this really warm, highly tactile wood grain finish.
Oh, wow. So it looks like wood, but acts like concrete.
Exactly, it's a self-finishing wall.
That's brilliant. But, heavy concrete can still easily feel kind of cavernous. Like, how did they carefully manage the spatial scale so a 700 square foot house doesn't just feel like an echoing airplane hangar?
So they were actually helped by this really unique site constraint. To protect the mountain views of the eastern neighbors, the architects cleverly lowered the entire home directly into the sloping hillside.
So they basically sank it into the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And that architectural constraint actually compressed the interior volume. It created this very intimate, grounded feeling.
Right, so it kills the echoes.
Completely. And it's perfectly balanced by a dual wing layout. They separated the guest spaces from the primary spaces, so you're never overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the home.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me, though.
Yeah.
The interior furnishings literally elevate all that heaviness of the concrete. Like, in the primary suite, there's this weightless custom teak bed that is completely suspended from the ceiling.
Yeah, it just floats.
It floats. And then there's the Mass Beverly shift table, which swivels to minimize visual clutter.
It's all about seamless control. And, that intimate control flows perfectly outdoors, too. They use this dark terrazzo flooring that spills directly onto the patio.
So there's almost no boundary between inside and outside.
None at all. And the zero-edge pool is uniquely lined in black granite.
Oh, wait, really? Not blue?
Nope, black granite. It acts as a dark mirror reflecting the San Jacinto Mountains. It completely removed that harsh desert glare. They even hid the HVAC vents flawlessly within the ceiling joint so the house maintains absolute silence.
That is just incredible.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you listening at home? Why should you care about a multi-million-dollar custom build? Because it proves that architecture isn't just aesthetic, it's deeply psychological.
Oh, 100%. The textures, the light, the acoustics surrounding you, they are actively shaping your daily well-being.
So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to mull over today. Take a look around your own home right now. Just look around. How much of your space is designed strictly for how it looks to guests versus how it actually regulates your own nervous system?